Hopefully it'll work now, except I'm already at my destination. There's a lot of evidence going back literally years, all the way back to 2015 about the abuse I've been enduring. I did speak up. I tried to get the ability to record it right from the start. We'll get into that topic after I've gotten this up. Hey, John. Not too good, actually. We about smashed him out. There's another guy named Andrew Walnes who literally just rode by on his bike like 2 seconds ago. He was one of the ones who was stalking me.
That guy did it.
Yeah. That guy? Oh, man. He ain't too nice. Oh. Alright, I'm gonna get these two and a cup of coffee. Yes, sir. Oh, that's not it. Here we go. Let me give you my card, please.
Bag.
Could I get a receipt too? Sure. Look at that, corn dog. One. Okay. I already bought the coffee.
160. Want any Tillamookkk?
Yes, please. 2 of each if I could. Better not spend other people's money, right? We'll spend mine.
You see?
No, I'm good.
Thanks, sir. Have a good one.
You too, Roger. Well, I guess that'll work. There we go. Ah, and this is still on. Someone calling himself Mad American Patriot typed hello. Any pozos type hola. Hola. I've been recording the money epidemic nationwide. It's called systemic abuse against the disabled. Very common. I was lucky somebody took kindness on me tonight. The result, I had enough to get a corn dog. I have no teeth, but it's soft. In one of my earlier videos today, police officers came and gave me haulers gave me a piece of paper telling me I gotta move my car. They didn't like any of the problems that were with my car, and they're complaining about it. How dare I have a busted car after people beat on it, right? Kind of dark because it was in my pocket. for the person who typed that, kind of dark. Mad American Patriot typed, "It's a shame how our disabled and vets and homeless are treated in this country." I agree 100%. I don't fight for the rights of veterans. I fight for the rights of human beings. I was never a veteran. Next person calling himself Dean Stopcook. Type, "What are you eating?" Great American corn dog. And the people who work here are super cool, just so you know. It's called Center Market. I quit drinking in 2001. Funny story. Not so funny. It was the first time I ever drank tequila. Last time too. It's a bad idea. Mad American Patriot type, I agree with you. We need to stop looking at race or color and come together as human, nothing more or less. Someone calling himself Daryl Moorhead typed, "You're gay." Well, I might be, I might not be. It's none of your business. However, no, I'm not into boys, not into men, not into males, not into females either. Go figure. Mad American Patriot typed, "Daryl, that's not nice." Alright, so anybody who wants to do anything to end this madness, there's a woman named Natalie Bollinger who was called mentally ill. And for most of her life, she was victimized by the people who were supposed to love her. Story of my life, too. If you send me a message to my email, doggedroman@gmail.com, I will forward you a message from Natalie Bollinger from 2016. Back when we were friends, so you know that we were friends. How much battery I got? 80%. Damn. I gotta take a rest for a few, otherwise I'm never gonna make it back to where I'm heading. I want to have a cigarette before I go. Nasty habit. Now, as some of you may know, I've been assaulted multiple times recently. Had my vehicle vandalized more than once. Andrew Wolnez keeps riding by everywhere I go just to show me that he can ride by anywhere I go. God, I should have gotten some Kleenex while I was in there. There's the reality of the situation, and then there's the way people want to spin it off. There's a lot of evidence that shows that Natalie Bollinger and I were friends. A lot of it. It's a matter of getting the time and place where I can sit down with the evidence and take my time to do it instead of being assaulted and threatened and harassed by Andrew Wolnez. He's shown time and again that despite a protection order, he just doesn't give a shit. It's just a piece of paper. And there's Chris Stafford. One of his victims is a woman named Amanda, who's now homeless and pregnant in Portland. When you guys pretend that I'm a stalker and a creeper, like many of you do, many of you watch those true crime things and you pretend like you know better than anybody else. Like everything that you heard must be God's gift to the truth. But then you look at the evidence and you go, holy shit, none of this adds up. You're right. If you send me a message to doggedroman@gmail.com, I'll send you your first piece of evidence down the rabbit hole. A message from Natalie Marie Bollinger about the abuse she endured growing up. About why we were friends. What she thought. There's a couple of videos ago. I made a call earlier today to the disability determination place. And part of what we spoke about is recorded on this channel. We spoke about how she has my medical records right in front of her. She stated outright that I'm autistic and I do have PTSD. We've also got the recording. It's called Marcia Estrada, MarciaEstrada, LIMHP. Someone calling himself Austin Richard typed, "This is the police here. We are inbound. Answer the door." I'm outside. Anyway, there's nowhere to go to the bathroom this late at night. The closest place there is, I'll have to walk to it, and I suffer muscle fatigue, severe muscle fatigue. Which is why I'm sitting down on a routine trip to a gas station. Well, convenience store. There's no gas here. I did get a Cash App. I apparently can't set it up until I have the card that's supposed to come in the mail. So I'll set that up as soon as possible. I just needed a bank account this whole time and a place to sit down and do that after learning how to do it, which took me so much. Austin Richard type, yo, you got a Cash App, I can get you some money. Very nice, thank you. My Cash App is cash.app/$Dogged Roman. That's my gamer tag. I play Star Trek Online. It's a fun game. God damn it, holy shit, ow. Anyway, I'm gonna try walking a couple blocks Take myself a break. God damn it. This is gonna suck. I hate dropping my fucking cane. I should probably just stay here till I'm done with my coffee, I guess. Give me some opportunity to talk since there's actual internet here. Austin Richard typed yo repeated a couple times so I can type it in and copy paste it, please. It's cash.app / dogged Roman. D as in dog, O as in ogre, G as in God, a second G as in God, E as in Edward, D as in dog, R as in roar, O as in oh my god, M as in man, mom, whichever, A as in Sean's an a-hole, N as in nighttime. Oh, Jesus, I need a new back. That is no joke. Austin Richard typed the Cash App name. That's it. Dogged Roman or Sean Schwartz, SCHWARTZ. V Buckmaster typed a heart and typed hope you're doing better. I'm not. I could really use your support. You guys could go through and find those videos as you can. The ones with the police, the ones with the assaults with Warnez. There's quite a few of them that have links to other videos. If you could post them up in the comment section of this video, link after link, that way I've got easier access closer to this video. I've got a lot of them that I've clumped a lot of evidence videos together in that I have to go back and find them, and it takes a while. V Buckmaster type, where are you from? I was born in Scottsbluff, Nebraska. I consider myself from Boulder, Colorado. I grew up in the system until I was 15. Then I moved to Nebraska, and then I went back into the system until I was a little older than 18. Anyway, this Andrew Wolnez feller's been messing with me for a really long time. Over some racist youth who've been messing with me for a really long time. God damn it, that sucks. I've tried going to the police, they just blow me off, talk over me, dismiss me, no matter what, it's my fault, right? Always some quick excuse why it's my fault, and as a man, I just have to take it. That's the difference between men helping a man and women helping a man. For the most part, men will tell you there's nothing they can do about it. So men are very realistic about the situation. Nothing they can do about it. Many times we have women who make suggestions, and unfortunately, the reality for men is that there are none of those services that give a crap, especially if you're homeless. So a lot of women tend to make suggestions. You too, thank you. A lot of women tend to make suggestions that they don't mean anything harmful by it. There's no hate there. But it is ignorant because we don't have access. And there's my physical disabilities and my safety issues. Safety issues with the police just automatically pretending like I'm a schizophrenic and send me to mental health when I'm abused. If I show or exhibit the same traits as a woman who's just been raped or beaten, I'll get arrested. I'm not allowed to be afraid. People will take advantage of it. That is what it is to be a man. I'm not physically attractive and I don't have a good job, so I don't have anything to provide for a family. That's what it is to be a man as far as the expectations go in this country. I must be a provider. I've been taught since the day I was brought into this world that my job is to protect women and children, and I take that job very seriously. But sometimes you have to choose one over the other, and I always choose the children. If I have to choose between protecting a woman or a child, I will always protect the child. If it means I gotta go to jail for it, so be it. It's worth it. I have no children. I can do things that parents cannot do. I can go to jail for protecting children without going to jail and losing my children because I have none. Many of the people who didn't come forward, they promised in the beginning that they would. But because they didn't, I had to go public. And then they didn't want to be my friend anymore. Well, if they were my friends, they would have helped to turn it in right away instead of forcing me to go public. And that's the way of it. Many of these people use their children as a bargaining chip or a chess piece or checker piece. They wanted to promise to help me, and then they wanted to say, oh, well, I've got kids. Okay, I can understand that. But I've wasted literally hundreds or thousands of hours on sending you evidence, and obviously you haven't done anything with it, right? Women tend to tell me to go to services that for many of them, they actually can go in by themselves and get help immediately. They have things like a physical address. The ones without a physical address, I'm sorry guys, I shouldn't say it like this, but this is just the way it is. A woman on the streets is treated like a man. They are harmed frequently and often. The people around give no shits whatsoever. There was a woman named Jamie in the Dalles, Oregon. You can type in the name Jamie again in the video links or in my YouTube channel. And you can see that Jamie, when I start the video, she's yelling at a man, and I see him push her. You can't see that on the video, but you see me get out of my vehicle because he pushed her. You also get to see in the video that he follows her. There's about 30 people there all together. He follows her. When she's got her back turned, he runs up on her. When she turns around backwards and tries to make a distance, he backs off a little bit. When she turns back around, he runs up on her again and socks her in the back of the head, hard enough you can hear it in the video. I yelled, brought the attention on myself because I'm an idiot. And then I defused the situation to the best of my ability at the time. He claimed that she was family, and somehow that magically justifies the assault. They said not everybody's crazy out here. That's how he justifies the assault. What's everybody's recommendation for Andrew Woolness after all of his assaults against me? It's to, everybody says to whoop his ass. Well, I don't want to, first of all. Second of all, I no longer have the physical ability. He's assaulted me 9 times. I tried to defend myself the 9th time, and I did a piss poor job, honestly. I just got lucky that he sucks at fighting. You get to see I don't have a violent history. As an adult, off of medications, there was no reason to get violent. I could always leave. I could always go somewhere else, but you can't always go somewhere else. I was also able-bodied once, and that had a lot to do with it. I'm no longer able-bodied. You get to hear in a lot of my videos I rail against Christianity, or rather Christians themselves. Not so much the religion. I like the religion, but there's no Rambo Jesus in the Bible. Hello. I looked. I know. Isn't that amazing? There's a lot of people whose solutions involve give it to Jesus, give it to Jesus. Some of them say give it to the universe. That doesn't stop predators. It doesn't stop long-term abuse. And I'm being abused over slander on the internet. Slander that was loud in courts and slander that is easy to disprove. The problem is I need people's voices. I need them to stand up and say, hey, everybody should have the right to face their accusers. Everyone, even if they're called mentally ill. Nobody should be denied the right to show evidence. Nobody. Enough of this public pretenders trying to not do their jobs at the detriment of innocent people. I got this guy, Andrew Wolnez, who's assaulted me repeatedly. He rides by everywhere I go when I start recording. He likes especially to ride by literally right after the cops leave. He's done that in multiple videos. One of them at the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Several others as well. It just seems like he just magically shows up right after the cops do. And a lot of people make mention of that in those videos too. And yet I get treated like I'm a paranoid schizophrenic. I have communication issues because I'm scared and I'm constantly overwhelmed. I have to deal with a lot of violent people, violent-minded. Most of the people in this town that said they would help me, especially the ones at Safeway, there's a lot of them. And they helped me in a lot of different ways. They really did. There is no doubt about that. But the one thing that I needed was for them to speak up that these things are true. Many of these mandated reporters, what they wanted to do is refuse to look at evidence. And when it came to evidence that I needed to show that I was telling the truth, like police officers' body cameras, I was told it would take an act of God. Tara Miller, aka Tara Smith, on my channel. There's a 3-part video with her where she says it'll take an act of God to get the report that she was supposed to have written. That was about the Dual County Sheriff's Department not doing their jobs. In specific, Jared Hahn. Guess who was there for that first reporting? Jared Hahn. In the videos, she admits that she remembers the visit, so it did happen. It happened right outside of Pumpkin Pantry. And what they had said about the evidence on my phone was incorrect. I know, because I recorded the reality of it. Those officers were insistent that they were right just because they said so. And Tara Smith listened just because they said so. Later on, when I tried to turn those officers in again, they had me sent to the mental hospital in Scotts Bluff. Tried calling me, what was it? Bipolar. Because if they call me bipolar, they don't have to do their jobs. That didn't work. So many months later, they tried to do the same thing, except this time they tried to do it by calling me schizophrenic. I had to try to turn in Sheriff Scott DeCosta, literally to himself. I was told to Call the Dual County Sheriff's Department. Their 911 number and the non-emergency number are exactly the same. The numbers are different, but it goes to the same exact people at the same exact call center. They had me call the Nebraska State Patrol. Over 40 phone calls that night, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Who the hell do I turn Scott DaCosta into? He was telling people he's going to run me out of town and telling people I was schizophrenic. That countdown was inevitable. Everybody knew it was going to happen. Anyway, there was a lady named Stephanie Mejia who was on the phone with me when the Nebraska State Trooper said that they were going to send a trooper to come see me so I could turn in Scott DaCosta. Scott DaCosta showed up first, and he bullied me. Bill Burr was supposed to be there to help, and same thing with Lassen. Instead, Bill Burr ended up taking my phone as far away as he possibly could to talk to Stephanie Mejia where I couldn't hear what he was saying. And while he did that, Sheriff Scott DaCosta and State Trooper Lassen assaulted the fuck out of me. One of them twisted up my leg, the other one stuck his knee on the back of my neck. I had to scream for help. Anyway, they took me to Scotts Bluff. This was the third time they took me to Scotts Bluff. They just kept on taking me to Scotts Bluff and making me walk back to Dual County, Nebraska from Scotts Bluff. As fucked up as I am physically, that's not an easy thing to do. First time they were trying to pretend to Jen Beebe, who was supposed to be my caseworker, an advocate. They pretended to her like I tried to suicide by cop, tried to grab their gun in order to have me committed to Scotts Bluff Hospital. It's a different county, over 100 miles away. So then, when Scott DaCosta assaulted me, that was the third time that they had me sent to Scotts Bluff, and I had to try to find my own way home. That's when Stephanie Mejia showed up, and she was going to help me. We were going to go to Colorado, where I no longer had warrants, according to Scott DaCosta. I went to Colorado, sure enough, there was warrants. Meanwhile, they had to drop the charges on all the shit in Colorado anyway, because they didn't have any goddamn evidence. So then back to Nebraska, right? In Nebraska, I was assaulted by a guy named Robert Franklin Mornick. This is after the assault by Scott DaCosta and Nebraska State Trooper Lassen. The assault by Lassen and DaCosta, I believe, was December 16th of 2019 or 2020, I think it was. Fuck, so many years of this hell. Anyway, that was after over 18 months of trying to turn in Scott DaCosta and the bullying by his deputies and other people in town. And then they started playing we're playing good cop now bullshit. God, that's fucking painful. So they sent me to Scotts Bluff again when I was assaulted by Robert Franklin Mornick, a registered sex offender in the state of Nebraska. He was friends with Leslie Snell, who happens to be Scott DaCosta's secretary. She went out of her way to try to give out my new number so that people would call me unrestricted numbers nonstop. She knew exactly what she was doing. I've got multiple recordings telling her and explaining to her about the safety issues there, as well as with the deputies. So when they arrested me a little over a month after the assault by Scott DaCosta, they wanted to arrest me for harassing a man who had literally assaulted me twice. Well, literally assaulted me once and threatened my life once and threatened to assault me once. So that's when Stephanie Mejia had actually shown up, and we were trying to turn in the situation with Scott DaCosta to the Nebraska State Patrol Troop E. They just wasn't having it. It wasn't until after the assault by Lassen that the Troop E ever even bothered to contact with me. It was Sergeant Jones and Investigator Woods. Later on, Investigator Woods ended up arresting a lot of my predators. Investigator Woods arrested Polly Olson of Dual County, Nebraska, who Scott DaCosta used in order to draw funds from Dual County and use them to have me illegally incarcerated, by the way. They charged me with 4 misdemeanors, locked me up for 7 months. I was abused every single day of that 7 months. I was abused psychologically, I was abused physically, I was even abused sexually. And guess what? It wasn't by the other inmates. Anyway, I'm the only person I know who's ever been to prison on 4 misdemeanor charges. Wasn't even convicted. They had to drop the charges after 7 months from, guess what? Lack of evidence. Over 30 separate charges in Nebraska, they did that. Over 30 different charges in Dual County, Nebraska for that. Sorry. Didn't mean to get it incorrect. Anyway, the situation, you're welcome. The situation with Scott DaCosta, that never stopped. There's messages recently that I've shown over and over again of threats and harassment against my sister, and police following her, and people from Colorado threatening her life. There's also Nick and Sarah Bacon. Their recordings are on here. There's multiple recordings of my little sister, multiple recordings with Sarah Bacon, recordings with Aaron Cockerham and Carl Rogers, showing that I told the truth. You can also see the videos where I'm pissed off because they didn't come forward about it. They never tried. While my predators try to find every little hiccup and slip up, every burp and fart, and try to turn it in as some sort of a threat against their life, these people also actually threaten my life, actually assault me, actually put things through my windows, actually kick the shit out of my car. They pretend that autism is mental retardation. And they pretend that because I'm a male, I must be a rapist. Because I'm homeless, I must be a druggie. Lauren Peters typed, okay, I had to make sure it was true and you are receiving Cash App as income. SSDI will now be stopped. This was income not being reported. Have a nice day. Right, we got these people, huh? Well, there's no actual income there to be reported. You also have a time limit on that. There's also the fact that it's a joint account with someone who's assisting me in trying to get a lawyer. On the bright side, we use trolls like this to get on here and try to pretend I'm some sort of horrible excuse for a human being and try to rob me of resources that really all my resources have been robbed already. What do we do with people like this? First, we take a screenshot, right? Then we hide user on this channel. Now, when it comes to Cash App, if you guys want to donate to it, I could sure use it. Now, as far as the disability stuff, you already know that the people who hate me are going to get on here. They're going to troll. They're going to do everything they can to cut me off from any and all resources, as Andrew Wolnez and many other troll accounts have been doing. And I get treated like I'm a monster for it, because other people victimize me, take advantage of me, and try to pretend I'm a horrible monster for trying to get help. They also treat other people like shit for helping me. You damn right I speak up. Somebody's got to. Now these youngins from Tillamookkk Sporting Goods parking lot been terrorizing me since I got here. And I've had various stalkers since I got here wanting to stalk me over what they heard on the internet. And yet none of these internet websites, not a single one of them has any remorse for what they're doing. Not a single one of them has tried showing my side or my evidence. Not one. Seems calling me crazy and pretending I'm a super psycho stalker makes them too much money for him, to be honest. I'm gonna go across the street. My internet access will probably stop. I did have to stop quite a few times in order to make it where I'm going. Hopefully we can... I don't know. That's the thing, is that all the people that I'm sending evidence to, they're just procrastinating. Like, literally, they go out of their way not to do anything useful at a time that's useful. Like, when somebody tells me that they'll help me they'll help me at 9 o'clock in the morning and we can start making phone calls, and then they literally don't get back a hold of me until 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night. I had to block restricted numbers on my phone so I could at least try to get some sleep. Unfortunately, most of the government agencies that I'm supposed to try to be in contact with call me from restricted numbers, so they're all blocked too. After 3 separate lockup facilities, or 3 separate jails, I should say, and 2 separate prisons, Dual County Sheriff Scott DaCosta and the Dual County government had to drop the charges against me because it was all bullshit from the start. They literally arrested me to prevent me from showing evidence of the abuse by Scott DaCosta and to allow the statute of limitations to run up on crimes committed by his deputies. Unfortunately for them, there is no statute of limitations on what they did. Anyway, if you send a message to doggedroman@gmail.com, I'll make sure that I forward that message from Natalie about her abuse. Oh shit, this thing is fucking disconnected again. God damn it. Oh, yeah, put the heater in the way. Here you go. Do what? receipt.
Good.
I did get
Cool.
something for myself, but I paid for it.
Yes. Okay. Anyway, can you get all this shit off for me, please?
That's plastic. I
Yeah.
won't be able to get that off of there.
Me with a wire brush.
I won't be able to. I don't have the hand strength.
How about a fire? Can you start a fire? Burn it off.
If not here tonight, that would not be a
No, not in
thing,
here.
but,
I mean out there.
not tonight, but yes, I could do that.
Never mind.
Here's your change.
Off the cup.
Yes, sir.
Cool.
Here you go.
The world is changing at an
Fired up.
Oh, I'm good. Thank you, though. Alright. I muted it because of the really super loud music, and I left because of the really super loud music. He's let me warm up there, which I can do. As far as sleeping there, I'm not worried that he'll harm me or anything like that. I just, I can't sleep with that super loud music. And, you know, he has the same 7 or 8 songs that he plays on rotation. It's always the same exact 7 or 8 songs. And, well, for example, the other night when he went to sleep, he was listening to this thing about some boxer knocking out another boxer in the second round, and it was like one of those super short clips. It's like 15, 20 seconds long. And of course, it's ghetto blasting. It's super loud. And he couldn't be woken up. He said I'd come back tonight because it's supposed to get cold. He also said I have an address now. I guess sort of. Hopefully. I mean, it's... People got a lot of ideas. This feller, he drinks an awful lot and makes a lot of decisions when he's been drinking. He also gets kind of irate. Gets real bossy. The more he drinks, the more bossy he is. And he has me run and get his booze. Well, it's some Pelican thingy, but I get overwhelmed pretty easy by that. I mean, he says I can do stuff over there that, well, if you could turn off the friggin' volume for just a couple minutes, I could probably get started. But the thing is, the more he drinks, the less he wants to use his words. So he just points and expects people to interpret what that means in English. And it's difficult because he speaks about half as loud as the music that he's got going at his loudest. So you can't hardly hear the guy. And he'll say the same thing 2, 3, 4 times in a row with the music on, and I try explaining to him over and over again, dude, I can't hear you. And then he turns off the music and says, never mind. All right. But the most difficult part is that he's not using his words. So you're basically left to extrapolate based on however he's shaking his hands. Let's see how good my car looks. So the cops gave me a piece of paper saying I gotta move my car within 24 hours. Fuckers. Keep beating on my vehicle. It's all torn to shit. Windows busted out. All because Maddie Boa wanted to pretend that I did things to Natalie and Alicia Bollinger that I didn't. Now, Natalie Bollinger did come forward and admit that those rumors were untrue. She did that on her last public post. But people don't generally zoom up that far. Now, as far as her calling me creepy and all sorts of other stuff, why the hell does it smell like soap in my car? Fuck it. Anyway, he said I'd go back over there tonight and warm up, which is awful nice of him. But I can't handle all the super loud music, and, you know, for the most part, he's like, you know, I'm just about making money. I just want to make a profit. I just want to make some money. Anytime I try to explain about my sight or what my abilities and disabilities are, this guy starts telling me I don't care about none of the politics. I just want to make money. And then he starts telling me about these Tate brothers. The Tate brothers make a bunch of money doing this and a bunch of money doing that. So he helped me to get a bank account, which is nice. It's a dual account. But that bank account makes it so that I can get the Cash App thing. And although nobody's donated any money to it, at least it started, you know. There's a lot of people who donated money to Cara Rogers, aka Cara Mia, and a woman named Candace Bondurant. Both of those women made GoFundMes to help me out, or at least they claimed it was to help me out. Instead, when Candace Bondurant didn't get what she wanted right when she wanted it, and she wanted to withhold vital information that would guarantee I'd be harmed for a very long time to come, she went out of her way to play victim. Like all women do when you curse, right? Well, not all women. Some women curse like a sailor and they know the rules. If you're going to curse at him, he can curse right back at you. Anyway, Candace Bondurant could have done the right thing. She could have come forward about the situation with Officer Michael Beard. Instead, she was mean to me because Officer Michael Beard came and harassed her at work and harassed her on her way to take her kid to school. She threw me out in sub-zero temperatures, saying that her landlord said that I have 3 days to leave or they're all getting kicked out into the cold. What kind of a sick piece of shit does that to a woman with 2 kids? Candace Bondurant, with all the situation there, it prevented me from being able to have internet access. So I had to turn everything over to one of Natalie's ex-stepmothers who claimed she was going to help. And then after I'd turned it over so that she could look at everything, and I told her I'd let her have it for 3 whole days before messing with it, that's when Candace allowed me to have the internet. I'm like, Candace, I already let this woman know that I'd let her have it for 3 days so she could go through and look at the evidence herself. And I'd already typed on my Facebook for everybody to comply with her to their best abilities, that she was going to be on there and she was going to be looking around. So then Candace wanted to be mean to me because I wouldn't do what she wanted right when she wanted, because I was keeping my word to one of Natalie's ex-stepmothers. So even though there was 2 GoFundMes started for me, and even though a lot of people treat me like trash, like I had ripped off people for thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, I didn't see a fucking penny of it. I didn't make those GoFundMes. I needed help so that people couldn't take advantage of me by giving me empty promises and then taking it away. I needed to be able to save that evidence. I needed to be able to have access to that money. But Candace Bondurant's a selfish person. You can hear with a lot of the conversations with people who claim that they would help. You can hear how they want to use their children. Oh, people were threatening my kids, Sean. I'm afraid, really. If people were threatening your children, you would want to turn it in. You would want it to stop. And each of these people wanting to use that to pretend horrible things, right? Pretend like their children are more important than anybody else's children. A lot of other people who were trying to help had children too. A lot of other people who claimed they wanted to help were letting me know that their children were being threatened, that they were being threatened for things that they typed on Facebook, that they typed in Natalie Bollinger groups. Then they wanted to throw tantrums at me as if it was my fault that they were arguing with people in Facebook groups and those people threatened their lives. When I spoke up about that, I got treated like I was delusional, and Carl Rogers didn't come forward. So I had to record her speaking about it many, many, many months later. Same thing with Aaron Cockerham. Same thing with a lot of other folks. Nick Bacon, Sarah Bacon, my little sister Tara, Dallas Richmond. A lot of different people were intimidated not just by the police, but also by the public. It wasn't just Candace Bondurant. It wasn't just myself. You can hear all the way through every bit of this. You can hear all these people that I went to for help rather than helping to turn it in right away like they should if they're a decent person. They all want to talk about shooting people and beating people up, killing people, spraying them with mace, pepper spraying them in the face, tasering them, jumping them, or having their husbands go do it for them. None of these people tried or focused on turning in the crimes to the police with me and fighting like a goddamn mama bear when the police try making every excuse to send me around in circles. Mental health, mental health, mental health, mental health, mental health, mental health, mental health. That's the reality of our situation here. Tillamookkk, Oregon is a nasty place. There's a lot of nasty people here. But it's made even more nasty by the supposedly good people who look the other way and make every excuse to do so repeatedly. Those who want to play victim. If you're going to pretend that I threatened you, produce evidence that I threatened you. If you want to pretend that you were threatened, you're a piece of shit. To those who claim to be good people but were merely nice, I can say I hope everything horrible that happened to me happens to you. In fairness and equality. That you may know how you treat others. That you may know what it's like to be completely alone. To be abused over and over again and told that you wanted it, needed it, chose it, and deserved it. Sent around in circles. Assault after assault after assault, you're sent to mental health. In reality, do I hope those things happen to those people? No, I like them all. Even the ones I'm mad at. Even the ones that are mad at me. Just because they're cowards doesn't mean that I don't like them. Many of these people have excellent personalities. Anyway, the Cash App. I haven't made any money with it. A grand total of $0. I gotta try to wait for something to come in the mail before I can hook that up. I had a bank account when Natalie died. What I had was no support keeping it. I kept on getting locked up because I literally had to do desperate things to try to get heard. No matter how many assaults I went through, because of the rumors with Natalie. Instead of people listening to the fact that I'm being fucking assaulted over it, they go, oh, you just need to let Natalie go. Jesus fucking Christ, you guys are fucking stupid. Doesn't matter what I want to let go. The fact that you ignore it is the reason that it's happening. The many people who claim that they would help me, I just got to send them the evidence. Look at how many thousands of hours I wasted on their empty promises because I had no friend or family member. All I had were useless piece of shit fucking web sleuths. And people who had claimed to be my friend when they got some benefit out of it. Sean, bring us cigarettes. Sean, watch our kids. Sean, do this. Sean, do that. Always so fucking needy. Meanwhile, you get to see how the police, Andrew Bolnez, Chris Stafford, these people are actually working together. Mostly out of mutual benefit, because Officer Martinez will go to prison if anybody investigates. Lynn Lothman will go to prison too. The other deputies will lose their jobs. You really think this county can handle that? Meanwhile, this guy who had good intentions, I'd only spoken with him a few times prior to this. He was always pretty nice, but didn't know much about him. Now that I know how much he drinks and how he gets when he drinks, it's a scary situation for me. No hatred there. He has a charger that's capable of charging my phones. I have to have them completely off in order to make them charge with my chargers now. So he's got some stuff that's useful and helpful, but there's also the fact that he doesn't give a shit about the abuse or what's going on with the legal stuff. He didn't care about helping to turn it in when people shattered my windows. He just wanted to clean it up, and I can understand that, but that shit needs fucking investigated. And those cops, every step of the way, do everything they can to look the other way, no matter what crime is committed against me. Those people at Safeway, every one of them that I went to, what do they want to say? Oh, well, I didn't see it. Well, you can see the video of it. I recorded it. Do you care? That's what the real question is. Do you care that I'm being assaulted? Do you care that people throw rocks through my windows? Do you care that they're doing this over crimes that were literally never committed? What happened when I had to turn in Sheriff Scott DaCosta to Sheriff Scott DaCosta? He showed up, assaulted me, and fucking arrested me for calling 911. Took me to Scotts Bluff, so I had to try to walk back from Scotts Bluff. They did that more than once. It's horrible. Then there's the fact that I literally can't think through that guy's super loud music. And I literally can't hear his demands. He's not asking, he's demanding that I do something and shaking his hand, expecting me to understand what that means. So I'm dependent on somebody who may get angry over any number of things while they're drinking and do any number of angry things to me. And since his name's on the joint account, he can take that away at any point that he wants. And that takes everything else away from me. See, that's the problem with people bullying me into doing things that are against my best interest. But I have to go along with it because I don't have a guardian assisting me. I don't have an advocate assisting me. What I have is people bullying me and bullshitting me. And that doesn't help anyone. Anyway, if you send me a message to doggedroman@gmail.com. I'll send you a message from Natalie Bollinger. If you're really interested in helping, we'll start with that. And maybe we can exchange numbers. The thing is, I'm having to trust people that are untrustworthy. I'm having to believe people that don't have my best interests at heart and who don't take these assaults seriously. Because you know what? Out of all the people that I showed the assaults to, all these people who wanted to talk about beating people up, I had to talk them out of assaulting people over and over again. That's their solution. Even the ones who said that they would help to turn it in, after months and months and months, they showed that's all they were going to do. Promised they would help me, and then they don't write, they don't call, they just ignore me. And then they come back later and promise me they're going to help me, just life has been too busy. And then they ghost me for 2 to 3 weeks and avoid me like the plague. And then they promise me they're going to help me again. Meanwhile, in the amount of time that Candy didn't actually ever help me to turn in the assaults, and Nathan never actually helped me to turn in the assaults. Don't get me wrong, Nathan did try once. Out of all of that, the police outright absolutely refused to do their jobs. Well, many of you say that's messed up. Well, of course it's messed up. It's also illegal. But there's no punishment for these people if you don't care that they're doing these things to us. And I do mean us. I was born in the United States of America. I grew up in the system. When I turned 18, I did my best to try to join the workforce, to try to get jobs learning the things that I wanted to know how to do, based on my hopes and dreams for the world. I wanted to design and build things to make the world a better place and a safer place. What I got instead is taken advantage of my entire fucking life and told that it's my fucking fault for having a dick. And anybody can get away with harming me and just call me mentally ill. Pretend I'm delusional and that I'm making it up. The United States is a disgusting place, and I'm ashamed to live here. I'm ashamed of my fellow Americans. And I'm especially ashamed of the people of Boulder, Colorado, Tillamookkk, Oregon, and Chapel, Nebraska. These are some of the most abhorrent communities ever to grace the face of the planet. Nice don't mean good. Keep in mind that a used car salesman is nice. Anyway, I was gonna try to take some pictures over there tonight, and I did get permission. The problem is I literally can't get anything done over him playing his music so loud, so going over there is kind of a risk. Obviously, I've been at this for a lot of years, obviously getting bullied from one community to another because of a bunch of internet web nut jobs. This sucks. Having to rely on scammers like Candace Bondurant, Carl Rogers, Shannon Alvarado. It hurts. I knew Candace Bondurant in real life. We went to school together. She'd bullied me more than once because I couldn't do what she wanted right when she wanted it. But you know what? It was her choice to bully me, not mine. A lot of the people that wouldn't take the time to hear my side, people like Dallas Richmond, for example. The first 3 months that I was at his place, paying rent, paying bills, he had a job and I was able to get a lot done. Then he quit his job, and myself and his family paid all of his bills while he got drunk and played video games. Yelling at his video game all day. Blaring quote-unquote comedy that's full of rape jokes all day. It's fucked up. Then he got a job again. Finally, after 7 months without a job. And when he had that job, the farmer's elevator, he'd come home and he'd complain to me that people at work were hassling him about me staying there. I'd try to say my side, but he'd tell me he didn't care. If he's gonna have to listen to that shit, I gotta listen to that shit, and that's how he saw it. He never once tried to look at any evidence. He didn't care who was in the right or who was in the wrong. When I was assaulted by Robert Franklin Mornick, the registered sex offender in Chapel, Nebraska, I was staying with Dallas Richmond. And while the assault was going on outside of Dennis and Brenda Dickinson's house, in between their house and Dallas Richmond's, I was able to make it to Dallas Richmond's with my shattered phone. Shattered thanks to Robert Franklin Mornick. And his glorious assaults. With me trying to turn in Dual County Sheriff Scott DaCosta just a month before, and still in the process of doing so. Plus me being forced to go to Dual County Sheriff Scott DaCosta to turn in the assault by Robert Franklin Mornick. How did you think that was going to turn out? Somebody calling themselves the OG silly goose type. Bruh, there's a guy on here who dead ass cannot read. Oh well. Just because somebody can't read doesn't mean they're less of a person. It just means that they've got more struggles than we do, as far as that goes. I've known a few people that can't read, but they can at least identify markers. There was one guy I knew from Kenya. He said, well, there's a big blue H. I said, what the hell does that mean? He said, that's all I need to know. Where's the hospital? If there's a problem and it's an emergency, where's the hospital? I can find the hospital. It's the big blue H. I've known a few people that can speak Japanese but can't read it. I've known a few people that can speak Cantonese and can't read it. I've known some people who can speak Korean but can't read it. Anyway, I should probably end this video, and I should probably go back over there and try to lay down in some warmth. The guy gets demanding, and when he wants something done, he'll talk at you like you're fucking retarded. I try to explain to him I can't just keep running errands for him all day. I can't do it. I went down to get him alcohol 3 times today. He got 2 of those containers each time. That's a lot of fucking walking for me. And it potentially means that I won't be able to walk tomorrow. he kind of sort of remembers it when he's sober, which isn't very long, and then when he's to drinking, he forgets about it immediately, kind of like Shannon Alvarado does. He don't mean nothing by it, neither does she, but it's not conducive to listening. It's kind of like people coming and assaulting me because they heard a rumor, or Dallas Richmond coming and bitching at me because people at work are hassling him. Making fun of me or bullying me because my disabilities prevent me from doing what you want right when you want it. Meanwhile, your demands are unreasonable of me. Why do you hold such unreasonable demands of disabled people? Why do you hate the homeless people so much? Is it because it's illegal to hate homosexuals now? It's illegal to hate black people now. It's illegal to hate Hispanic people now. It's illegal to hate women. It's illegal to hate Jews. It's illegal to hate aliens. I mean illegal aliens, by the way. This is all illegal, but it's not illegal to blame homeless people for all of the things that you used to blame on all of those groups. It's even illegal for you to do to a child molester the things that you do to me. It's illegal for you to do to a rapist the things that you do to me. It's illegal for you to do to a murderer the things that you do to me. Why isn't it illegal to do those things to me then? Because I'm not a murderer. Because I am not a rapist. Because I am not a child molester, and therefore it is not considered a hate crime to assault me while calling me those things. There is no such thing as justice, especially not in a town like this, especially not in a country like this, where your rights have nothing to do with who you are as a human being or how hard you have worked. It comes down to, do you have special rights on paper? And do you have a person in real life who gives a shit whether or not you are afforded those special rights on paper? The world changes when we make it change. Many hands make for light work. Apes together strong. We, the people. Of course, the United States has become a Cletus T. Judd song, ain't it? It's all about me. All these people who say that they care, but you get to hear how literally everything is more important than stopping the abuse or turning it in with me. And how those are the instructions that people find the most difficult to follow with the victim. Not for the victim, but with the victim. Please. Now, what can we do as a world community to change this? Well, we can shed light on it. We can show the evidence of it. And unlike most homeless people, I actually record this. Unlike most homeless people, I'm willing to try going to the police. Unlike most homeless people. But then again, unlike most of the homeless people here, I'm not on drugs. I'm not on alcohol. For all homeless people, we have to be afraid to go to the police or the hospitals because we will automatically be assumed to be druggies, to be liars. or to at least be not worth doing their fucking jobs for. Pardon my French. Someone calling himself Big Money E typed showing love from San Diego, California. Welcome home, San Diego. Huntington Beach here. 1993, 1994. Big Money E typed. That's a good question. Check this out. I am a counselor and been working with the... What, you gonna say ACLU? Homeless population. Yeah, it sucks, don't it? I'm out here living with the homeless population. One of the biggest issues that I have is that anytime they try to stuff me somewhere, they want to stuff me in an open room with 8 other people who stink. And I don't mind them stinking, because I stink to high heaven myself from time to time. What I do mind is having to live with people who are more likely to steal my stuff, more likely to relapse, more likely to take advantage of me, more likely to start fights. Meanwhile, I'm scared of people because of all of the abuse I've had to endure. Anybody can assault me, call me mentally ill, and get away with it. Big Money E typed, and you can give all the love and respect, support, and be there for someone, but if they ain't willing to help themselves, then my friends, you gotta help the next one in line. Yup, very much so. That was the case with Natalie Bollinger. I went to Virginia because she was going to kill herself if I didn't. She even made an attempt to kill herself because I didn't. So I made sure I went. When I got there, we had a lot of fun. We made some happy memories. Her, myself, her sister. But they couldn't stay off the drugs. They couldn't stay sober. And they couldn't take responsibility for their own actions. All these many years later, I'm treated like I'm a child molester and a rapist because of a misunderstanding over a telephone that I didn't even fucking want. And that's a horrible thing to have to endure. It's a horrible thing to have to live through. Now I have to try to turn in predators like Andrew Wolnez here in Tillamookkk, and I gotta turn in predators like him to other people with a history of being predatory towards me, like Officer Martinez, Officer David Martinez. Big Money E typed, I'm not an octopus and I only have 2 hands, but you can only do so much. No, I don't suck. I was homeless myself, and I was able to become a better version of myself. Now I help people overcome their barriers. B-A-R-R-I-O. Never mind, I'm not going to be a grammar Nazi. I do apologize. Jocelyn Rico Vera typed C. Big Money E typed, I was in your shoes before and I was able to. Jesus Christ. I don't need to hear this. If I can do it, you can do it. Bullshit. I don't need a fucking pep talk. That's the last thing I need. I don't need a fucking counselor. I don't need a fucking therapist. I don't need bullshit, for goddamn sure. Barriers? Hell, I can tell you my barriers, but chances are pretty good that you'd type a bunch of bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush kind of stuff. You just gotta love yourself kind of stuff. You ever think about just letting it go kind of stuff? All that kind of stuff, when somebody is being abused and trying to turn in that abuse, all of that stuff is the stuff that pushes people to end their own existence. Because that's the stuff that shows that you're not going to help them. Let me see. Loose Weight typed, "Hi Sean, nice to hear you on tonight." Merrick Wilder typed, "What do you need?" Well, I need someone to look at evidence and speak up immediately. I need people to fight for my rights. And these are your rights too. We the people. You can start off by sending me an email at doggedroman@gmail.com, and I'll forward you a message from Natalie Marie Bollinger from 2016. Also, I'm trying to get Cash App up and running. I haven't quite figured it out yet. Maybe it's that nobody's actually sent anything. I don't know. But my Cash App is cash.app/$Dogged Roman. My name is Sean Schwartz, or Sean David Schwartz. Hopefully I don't get treated like I'm some horrible monster for that too. Someone calling himself Billy Moctezuma typed, "I need a therapist." Ah, very nice. Moctezuma's curse. Who do you think had a more powerful empire, the Olmecs or the Aztecs? I personally say the Olmec had them beat. Loose Weight type, "Did Aaron help you out the other day?" No, he didn't. He was gonna, but he didn't. I kind of expected that he wasn't gonna, and that he was gonna sort of not be in contact so much and say that he was gonna make calls to people and make those calls by himself, and then he's gonna hurry up and wait until those people get back a hold of him before he takes any actions otherwise, which sucks because they're not gonna call him back. Let's see. Big Money E typed, "I've been doing this type of work and been in the field for 5 years. 2 E's in Ben. I did 7 years passing out blankets as a community liaison through BOHO, which is Boulder Homeless Overflow, or Boulder Outreach and Homeless Overflow. So I got a lot of experience myself. I also grew up in the system with therapists, with doctors, with staff members, with lots of kids that had fucked up issues. One of the kids I was locked up with raped his sister to death. Another kid I was locked up with murdered his grandparents. I wasn't in the system because I was a violent kid or anything like that. I was in the system because when I was 4 years old, my dad got busted for 38 counts of cocaine possession with intent to sell, as well as selling an illegal AR-15. My mother couldn't stay at a couldn't stay at a rehab. And the courts weren't going to let her have us back until she could stay at a rehab. Alright, we got someone calling himself James Harden. These guys get on here and try to play like I'm schizophrenic. It's a big game to them. Typing things like, "There's spiders in your skin. Hide that guy." Then we got some guy calling himself Abautukum typing the same thing. What do we do with that guy? Hide user on this channel. There's one more up here. This guy calling himself Detroit Siggy is... well, he's more interested in typing about drugs than anything else. Big Money E typed, "Illy bro, I bet your house smells like up dog," is what Blake T typed. Big Money E typed, "I subscribed and gonna stay tuned." Big Money E typed 100. Well, thank you for coming here, Big Money E. Obviously, I'm doing my best, but being an autistic adult in the United States is fucking hell. They treat it like it's schizophrenia. They treat homelessness like it's schizophrenia. And that sucks because when we're assaulted and we try to turn it in, we might get assaulted or even shot by the police for making the effort. Someone calling himself Snowman typed, "Yo, I'm ASD adult." ASD stands for Autistic Spectrum Disorder, just so everybody knows. Snowman, is that a reference to being called Snowflake? A lot of autistic people are called snowflakes. When there's a major issue, we're talked over. We're told, oh, it's no big deal. You just need to let it go. You know, you just need to love yourself. Oh, you're being bullied? Well, why don't you just ignore these people? Why don't you just ignore these people who are assaulting you? Why are they assaulting you? Over rumors? Well, I can't do anything about rumors. But can they do anything about assaults? Yes, they can. Are they going to? No, because as far as Americans are concerned, an autistic spectrum disorder adult might as well be mentally retarded and schizophrenic and cruel. That's much of the way that we're painted. Meanwhile, we're the most realistic people you're ever going to meet. Loose weight type, did you find a place and someone to help move your car? No, not yet. Snowman typed, let's see. Snowman typed, oh no, I didn't back down. I didn't give a shit. Exactly. Someone called himself Hussein Holmersley. Type, Jesus is not the Son of God, Jesus, messenger of God. There is only a God that we have to worship. God sent prophets. They are all people. We're all people. All of us. Jesus was a person. You're a person. I'm a person. We're all people. I got no room for religion on my channel. Render unto God that which is God's, and render unto Caesar that which is Caesar's. While we're on earth, we live of earthly things. And that is simply the way it is. So this person calling themselves s'mores and typing they want to fart is getting blocked from my channel. We got somebody calling themselves Jay getting on here and typing all sorts of mean stuff. So what are we doing with these people? You already know it. Hide user on this channel. Jay. Hide user on this channel. It's that easy with these people, but it's not so easy in real life, is it? Hasi Rani Bepari typed, I'm from Bangladesh. Well, hello, Bangladesh. Welcome to my channel. Hasi Rani Bepari typed, and it's 1:07 p.m. It's 11:07 here. It's hard to believe that you're only 2 hours off from us. Oh, 1:07 p.m. It would have been 1:07 a.m. if you were only a few hours off. So yeah, that's about right. Anyway, in the United States, a lot of the quote-unquote free world looks to us for their morality. So the United States tries to put on a good face, a big face, to the rest of the world on morality. Unfortunately, we're victimizing the working class more than anyone else other than the homeless. And I'm not sure if you knew this, most of the homeless are working class. KS Brunius typed, it's 2:08 a.m. for me. So you must be in Ukraine, Georgia. What else would that be? That would be or would that be the other direction? Because India's pretty close as far as the date lines go. I think it's only an hour away. Snowman typed, I go to a group on Discord for adults with autism. I got bullied my whole childhood and have any angry father 107 a.m. here, 107 a.m. here in Texas. Well, Snowman, I thought didn't you type earlier that you were from, what was it, Arizona? Let me see. Sorry for scrolling up. I just want to make sure Utah. Yep, another one of them hot as fuck states. Loose Weight typed, welcome to the chat. Hasi Rani Vipari. Datar's Adventures typed, it's 2 a.m. for me too. I'm in Cincinnati, Ohio, United States. Well, welcome here, Cincinnati. To all of you who are new to my channel, I'm sorry if it doesn't make sense to you. There's a lot of assaults that I've endured, a lot of abuse that I've recorded on this channel, and I'm trying to get it seen. While I'm trying to get it seen, I'm having to deal with police corruption and the corruption of the KKK. I get screamed the N-word at me. People shattered my windows with some rocks that if they'd have hit me in the head would have killed me. That was just a few days ago. I've tried to turn this stuff in, but cops talk over me. There's a few people who've promised to help, but I send them evidence and they don't ever come through on turning it in. Meanwhile, I'm highly at risk because anybody who gets a government check that doesn't want to do their job can call me mentally ill, and they magically don't have to do their jobs somehow, even though the law requires them to do so. Kyle Kunkel typed, same, it's 2:08 for me. Yeah. It's 11:00 something here in Tillamookkk, Oregon. So that means it's 1 a.m. Would it be 1 a.m. or would it be... It'd probably be just after midnight in Chapel, Nebraska. I'm not for certain. I'd have to look it up. Anyway, there's someone call himself Ranger Noah 6 type, do you support LGBTQ? I support them as far as humanity goes. There's a lot of stuff that I don't necessarily agree with, but I still believe that they are people. As a part of the LGBT community, I kind of have to be supportive, at least in part. But I'm not a homosexual. I'm also not straight. I'm also not bi. I'm not interested, which a lot of people have taken issue to. I have a lot of homosexual friends who tell me I'm not LGBT eligible because I'm not homosexual. I've also got a lot of heterosexuals, like here in Tillamookkk. It's kind of a racist redneck town. So when somebody wants to assault you or threaten you or hate on you, pretending you're a homosexual in their own mind, makes it okay to assault me. It doesn't matter to them that I'm not really a homosexual. They just want an excuse to hurt me. Kind of like my gay friends, they don't care that I'm not actually straight. In their minds, I am. So that makes it okay to dismiss everything I say, because everything that they have to go through is 100 times worse than what I have to go through because they're gay. That doesn't make any sense. Also, ignoring any and all of our predators who just happen to be a part of the LGBT community, that doesn't help anyone, and it certainly doesn't help the LGBT community. I look at the LGBT community the same way that I look at religion. If you weren't so busy throwing it in people's faces, they probably wouldn't be as pissed off as they are. Most people don't care if you're gay or not. Most people don't care if you are gay or not. Okay? Most people don't care if you're straight or not. But we're not trying to force heterosexualism into schools or churches. That's the percent of the population that is going to throw a big stink about it, and therefore they are the ones that are heard. And because they're the ones that are heard, they're the ones that make policy changes. Snowman typed, money makes the world go round, corruption running rampant and has been since the beginning of America. Yeah, America's corrupt. Every government is corrupt. There is going to be corruption no matter what government you have. There's going to be somebody who's going to go, I could make a few extra dollars. Or somebody who's going to go, you know what, my son is a fucking idiot. He needs a job, and I just happen to work for the government and can get him a government job. Sometimes people screw up and they ignore a situation that legally they should have done something about, and somebody gets killed. Those are all excuses that police totally use, and many others as well. One of the situations with the cops here that was extremely unnerving, one of these officers shot a man in Rockaway. Now, I got to deal with the state troopers and the sheriff's department and the police department. 7 of their cruisers pulled up to a house that I was supposed to go to for help. I pulled up to the house. As I pulled up, the guy who owned the house or was renting it, he went out into the street with a bucket full of sawdust and empty bullet shells and threw them out into the middle of the road. And so 7 police vehicles showed up. And they were smiling and happy and even funning me and bullying me a bit. I thought it was okay because it's legal. It's not illegal, actually, is what he said. Well, it really is illegal for Officer Martinez to do that. Now, this is just a day after they killed a man in Rockaway, and they seem to be in a very highly spirited mood. They seemed to be very ecstatic and happy, like they were celebrating something. I don't see what there was in that situation to celebrate. Anyway, I'm hoping I can go back over there and that maybe he'll turn down the volume because I'd like to get some sleep and I'd like to not be stuck in my car for this. I'd like to not be frozen tonight. I'd also like to get some sleep, and those youngins, they drive by and scream that racist stuff every night. They'll throw stuff at my vehicle at 2 o'clock in the morning. They don't care if I'm in here or not. A lot of times I've caught my predators literally yelling at my vehicle when I'm not even in it. Matter of fact, the 9th assault by Andrew Wolnez, that's exactly what was going on. He pulled his bike up behind my car and was yelling at my fucking car. I wasn't even in the thing. I told him to leave my car alone. So he rode his bike over to me and tried starting a fight. And I have to deal with this, like I said, no matter where I go. Anyway, there's a lot of videos I gotta attach. That feller has a better charger cord than I do, so I should be able to charge up. I'm at 41% battery, so it's running out real quick anyway. It was up to 91%. Hopefully I'll be able to make something with that Cash App thing. I should have been able to do that many years ago, but people didn't help me to do it. They wanted to bully me into doing it, but didn't help me to do it. So I had to try to figure it out on my own, and it didn't do me any good. It just resulted in a lot of wasted time that didn't stop the abuse, didn't stop the threats, didn't stop the assaults. Anyway, the people who say they'll help me, it's not often that they do. If they do help me, it's certainly not to help turn in my predators to the police. to force the police to do their fucking jobs. Loose weight type thing. I think your video you did with the text to and from Natalie really put it all out there for people to know you never harassed or stalked her. Well, I don't know about harassed. That harassed thing, well, that's a little different. When people threaten to kill me and my friends and family, you goddamn right I got a hold of her. I unblocked her in November of 2016, sorry. I unblocked her so that I could tell her that I was being assaulted, that I was being treated like some sort of psycho pervert. She just didn't believe me. Then later on with Tim Beeson, again. And the police, they kept telling me things like, oh, well, it's best to try to deal with it out of court. We got real police work to do. You just need to man up. Why don't you just, call her up and tell her what happened and ask her to stop it? Why don't you call up and try to get an arbiter or a mediator or this, that, and the other? Why don't you go to mental health? Why don't you go to mental health? Why don't you go to mental health? So as far as harassment goes, she may have seen that as harassment. I saw her friends and family calling me up at all fucking hours of the night. I saw that as harassment. Them doing it over and over and over again and making repeated accounts, including in my friends' and family's names, well, that definitely constituted more than just harassment. These people threatening to kill me, trying to bully me into committing suicide. People who claim to be friends of mine even did that. People like Jonathan Hickson. People like Lexi Woods. And I saved the evidence of it. Without a place to sit down and organize my evidence in some peace and quiet, where I'm not rushed, where I don't have to physically damage myself by moving stuff in and out and in and out, one place to another every fucking day. Snowman type, that's narcissistic type of shit. It certainly is. Natalie, Alicia, and Maddie, that's Natalie and Alicia Bollinger and Maddie Boa, are the ones who organized the trip to Virginia with me. Then I was 2 months late getting there, and Maddie Boa had gotten busted selling methamphetamines. She'd just broken up with her girlfriend, Mackenzie Chapman, because Mackenzie had just had a baby, and she didn't want any of that stuff affecting her ability to have a child and keep her child, social services and all that. So, when I went to Virginia, I had to go by myself, and I didn't want to. I tried to find somebody to go with me, and I also had planned on going and seeing a lot of people while I was in Virginia, like Brett Roloff and my friend Sage in Chicago, and Ed Simmons in Daytona. And, well, Brett Roloff was in North Carolina at the time, but he was in jail. And there was Amanda DeMette. But I went and rescued my friend Jamie and her son. And that ate up all of my money. Fucked up my back worse, and by the time I finally got to Virginia to keep my word, well, Hurricane Matthew showed up, and I fucked myself up even worse cleaning that up. I got that job at Labor Ready in Virginia because Alicia Bollinger helped me to get it. That fucked up phone that they wanted to pretend I was being some sort of an evil monster on, that was a busted phone that I got from Alicia Bollinger. She worked at the Cricket store, and she changed over my phone number from my flip phone to that busted-ass smartphone. And that was the start of hell for me. Because it was that phone that I was having issues with. And you can see in those messages with me and Natalie Bollinger that Natalie did know about it. She was aware of it. I was asking her about because Alicia had gotten it in her name, and then she literally quit her job 10 minutes after doing that. So we were trying to figure out how to get the account in my name so that I could pay my own bill, but Alicia wasn't having it. She wanted to pay the bill. She insisted on it. Unfortunately, I'd had that phone number for over a year. And when things went south in Virginia because that phone was fucked up and I was severely dehydrated since my birthday, and my car broke down in the middle of the road, it sucked. It was a series of fucked up situations and fucked up circumstances. And I drove 1,700 miles to get away from them. Izavi Cameo typed hello. Abdurrahman Al-Harthi typed, I have one question, if may ask you, why in America there are so many genders, and why everyone accepting that, and yes, why people say freedom and equal, just can anyone give me any idea about this? Well, obviously English is not your first language, and no, I'm not making fun of you for that. That's okay. I'll try to extrapolate the best I can, but mostly a lot of people in the United States have been kicked their entire lives. There are a lot of groups in the United States that until the last 40 to 50 years, oh, we got somebody on here who is being a troll. What do we do with these guys? Hide user on this channel. We will not have the N-word on my channel. A lot of people, after being oppressed for many, many generations here, when they finally started getting rights, they started going overboard and getting uppity, feeling as if they were owed more than everyone else. Nobody else could possibly know their problems or have gone through what they've gone through, and therefore they are owed. And every time that they're offended, it's some sort of an offense against humanity, and for certainly an offense against their group. So we've entirely given in to minority groups and special rights, as opposed to fighting for equal human rights. Alex typed, I have one question. Can you shout if my brother, his name is... Alright, what are we doing with that guy? It's another troll getting on my channel, and hide user on this channel, no problem. If only we could do that with predators in real life, huh? Somebody comes and breaks into your house, intent on harming you and your family. You just hide user on this channel and they disappear. Somebody tries to rape you in your college dorm room, you just press the hide user on this channel button and the rapist goes away. Your mom gets drunk and beats you every night. You just get sick of it and press the hide user on this channel button. Your mom doesn't get to hurt you anymore. It's nice to believe that we can do in real life what we can do on YouTube. But you can see very simply with Andrew Wolness that there is no hide user on this channel button. Not for real life. With Molly, you got to see there's no hide user on this channel button. You get to see with Tim Beeson and Ted Bollinger, there is no hide user on this channel button. When it comes to Officer Lynn Lothman, David Martinez, or in Colorado, Officer Waylon Lolatai, you realize that there is no hide user on this channel button. We just got to take it. The help that women give other women when this shit's going on is to volunteer violence from their husbands and volunteer to go in with them to the different services. The help that women give a man in this situation is to tell him he's got to take care of it himself. Sure, they'll help, but they're too busy. They'll say they'll help, but they'll leave it open-ended. Oh, soon. Soon for somebody who's being beaten on and needs to turn it in. Soon, if it takes you 2 hours to get off your shift, that's not soon enough. They're praying and hoping. For many of you, you believe that soon for a man means never. When a man needs that help, you'll talk about violence and tell him he should get violent over and over and over again. But you won't help turn it in the way that you would if it was a woman. And unfortunately, there are a lot of men out there who are disabled, mentally and or physically, who are out on the streets being taken advantage of. The watcher typed, "Oh shit, I'm so blessed to have found you, the MFer that knows everything about everything. You have been brought to our attention. We will be watching." Oh God, more sarcasm and bullies. Abdurrahman Al-Harthi typed, "So there's more people know that is wrong and accepting fact about this subject and let this gender problem like it's okay and rise their kids and let them know that's okay." I don't quite understand what you were typing, so I apologize. The watcher typed set of rules. This is probably going to end up being... Oh, he typed, "If you didn't know that you're an idiot." So what do we do with this feller? He's just getting on here trolling. What do we do? Hide user on this channel. Blam, and he's gone. Snowman typed, "To answer that question, it's generational." Very much so. Absolutely. Anyway, I'm gonna try to take some of my paperwork over there. It's pretty late. I need to take some pictures of the paperwork and send it to a feller in the morning. I gotta try to find a place to move my car that's at least a quarter of a block away, 250 feet. I think that's actually closer to a block, though. The gentleman who's trying to help me, I don't know how we're going to get it moved tomorrow. He said that he can pull it and we can put it in the parking lot over there, and that I have up to 72 hours over there, something like that. The thing is, I spend all the time that I should be spending trying to turn in my predators, running around and trying to find the resources, and trying to find a place to put my vehicle while being assaulted, having people throw rocks through my windows that are big enough to kill me if they hit me in the head with it. Loose weight typed, "What's that noise?" I don't know what noise. Anyway, obviously I don't hold any ill will towards any of these people. A lot of the people that I've had to stay with have been drug addicts or alcoholics. I don't hold any ill will towards them. I don't hate the people. I hate the actions. Snowman typed, "Trying to tweak you out, don't listen." Well, there's a lot of people who drive by my vehicle and rev up their vehicle real super loud as they go by. They're just trying to be bullies. Anyway, I'm gonna head back over there because I got a bunch of crap I need to do. Hopefully he's not ghetto blasting because that shit's just too loud for me. I do have to poop, but this late at night, there is no bathroom open to poop in. So I just gotta hold it. Let's hope I don't shit myself in my sleep, right? See if it's the right one. Oh, it's got a lot of stuff in it, but it's not the most important stuff. I'm gonna take this bag here because it does have some important USBs in it. I've got literally over a dozen USBs. Full of evidence. Let's see. Somebody typed, let's see. Good luck in your journey, Snowman typed. It's Snowman? You think you can speak up? I'm sure you see it in the autism community. When we watch the videos about autism, you get to see lots of videos that are specifically about women. About how women are ignored in the autism community. While us men, we're told that it's nearly impossible to get an autism diagnosis as an adult. Women are most commonly diagnosed as adults, usually about the same age that women start hitting the wall. So then we talk about autism under diagnosis, and a lot of these women, well, they were used to getting free stuff when they were young and pretty, but now they're not. So they get onto autism sites whenever it's about abuse against autistic people and how much higher risk we're at. They want to change it to be about women. And we've got autism places for autistic people in general that do things against our best interest. Like the Autism Society. Or even worse, Autism Speaks. The only ones that'll actually help you is if you're a homosexual who's autistic. There's a very special autistic group for those folks, but you have to be a homosexual or they don't care. There's groups for autistic women exclusively, but if you're not a woman who's autistic, they don't care. Then these women get onto all these autistic things, and they want to take the attention away from autistic people being victimized, and they want to make it all about just the women. Just the women. Just the women. It's not just unnerving, it detracts from all autistic people who have to live through this. Makes it a woman issue. We get to see that in the black community too. Women are making it a woman issue. Men are most likely to be killed by police. And women are now making that a women's issue. Well, what about the 3%, almost 4% of those killed by police who are women? Loose weight typed, I hope you can get some sleep and he won't have his Satan music playing all night. I hope he lets you use his bathroom. He doesn't have a bathroom, and it's not Satan music. It's just really fucking loud. Reluctant Princess 144 type, many prayers to you for sharing this. Oh, thank you. Prayers don't do much good, though. If you have a plate full of food in front of you, you got a fork in front of you, you got 2 functional arms, functional mouth. You can sit at that table and pray all you want, but that food is never going to make it to your mouth until you take the initiative to pick up that fork, grab up a shovel or whatever happens to be on that plate and shove it in your face, chew it up and swallow it. Prayers won't do that. But thank you for them nonetheless. Snowman typed, "It is and expensive. I didn't get diagnosed till I was 19. The school system. Haha doesn't being by count. Or haha does being by count. I've been single my whole life." Me too. I'm 43 years old. I've never had a girlfriend. KG typed, "Why are you in the dark?" Well, because I live in my vehicle, and my vehicle is dead. The battery's dead. They put sugar in my gas tank, so my fuel pump doesn't work. They kicked in the living crap out of the side of my vehicle and also broke some windows. I've got recordings of nearly all of this. So I'm screwed. I have to move my vehicle. I've got less than 24 hours to do it. Meanwhile, my vehicle is full of evidence of systemic abuse, abuse against disabled adults, abuse against children, abuse against men and women, abuse against the elderly. Kaiju type, "Sugar, what happened? Damn, bro." Well, my best friend got shot in Colorado in 2017. People tried pretending that I was some sort of a stalker out to touch her bad place. Loose weight type, "Andrew totaled your car, he owes you." Well, loose weight, are you going to help me turn in the assaults by Andrew? He's never going to pay up. I mean, this is a deadbeat. You know why they call him deadbeats, don't you? You could beat him to death. You're still never going to get your money. Meanwhile, what do people keep trying to insinuate that I should do with Andrew Wolnez? They think I should beat him or kill him. People keep suggesting that I shoot him, or taser him, or spray him with bear mace, or beat the hell out of him. And to each and every one of those people, I say no. I'm against that. He's never going to pay me for the damage that he's done. And some of it, like the windows that were broken in the last week or so, I don't know exactly who broke those windows, but I do know that Andrew Wolnez has repeatedly and often broken the protection order. And nearly every single time, right after the cops leave, that's when Wolnez starts his violent bullshit, throwing rocks at my car and the like. Anyway, I'm gonna try to carry this stuff over there. It's a bunch of paper evidence I gotta take pictures of, but I also need to get some sleep. That guy's pretty loud, so there's a chance I'm not gonna get any sleep tonight. And that makes it impossible to get anything done during the day. Meanwhile, it's obvious staying in my car is a dangerous place to be. People throwing rocks through my windows, well, they're running out of windows to break, and if they throw one through my front window and it smacks me in the head, I may end up dead, or worse, permanently maimed. That's one of the reasons that I fight so hard to try to get assisted termination of life legal for somebody like me. I don't want to be left a vegetable from a failed attempt. Anyway, let's hope for the best. I'm gonna try to make it over there. My hands are not in the best of shape and I can't write well. That's because of the assault by Officer Waylon Lolatai. Believe it or not, I used to be a portrait artist. Anyway, if any of y'all want to try to help contribute to get me out of this hell, please send a message to doggedroman@gmail.com. I will forward you a message from Natalie Bollinger about her abuse from 2016. If you want to try to donate some money, or at least try to help to get my Cash App working, it's cash.app/$ Dogged Roman. My name is Sean Schwartz. Hopefully it'll work. I'm going to try to do a GoFundMe in the next few days just because, well, now having an account, I might be able to do that for myself, which is something that I did not have the ability to do before Natalie was killed. And after Natalie was killed, the 2 GoFundMes that were started by other people who scammed me, Cara Rogers and Candace Bondurant. To this day, I get treated like I was out to scam people for tens of thousands of dollars. Reality is, I didn't see a penny of that money. And I didn't see a penny of that money because when Candace Bondurant wanted to claim that she was being threatened by the police and she was afraid for her kids, she never bothered to try coming forward with it. Instead, she bullied me as if I was a bad person because of it. I let her know, either you come forward about that bullshit with that fucking piece of shit, that goddamn cop and what he did. You either come forward about that or I'm speaking up publicly. And what'd she do? There was a group to help me, and they wanted to donate money, and they wanted to help show evidence. Instead of Candace Bondurant being honest, she went to Cara Rogers and went out of her way to paint me as some sort of a horrible person because I cursed. She went out of her way to hide why it is that I was so pissed off. Candace Bondurant did everything that she could to intentionally prevent me from being heard and cut me off from resources, including human resources, from people that wanted to help. Because Candace Bondurant is the worst friend I've ever had. She is the most selfish piece of shit out of all of this. See, Ted Bollinger at least had an excuse. He raped his daughters and had them selling drugs when they were underage. So Ted Bollinger's just trying to hide his own skin, save his own skin. A lot of these other people did fucked up shit too, and they were just trying to save their own skin. Candace Bondurant just wanted to be a fucking piece of shit. Someone call himself Enlightened Dummy typed, I snort paint chips. So what do we do with those people? I'd use her on this channel. Loose Weight typed, I will report it on GoFundMe. Was your name in the title of the GoFundMe? Well, here's the thing. Those GoFundMes were all the way back when Natalie died. The very beginning of 2018. She was killed in December of 2017. Both of those GoFundMes have been taken down. The problem is that Cara Rogers and Candace Bondurant, well, they never got taken to court for that. The damage that they did, I could not undo, and Candace Bondurant did not give a shit. Meanwhile, no reporter, no police officer, no friend lifted a goddamn finger between then and now to turn in a single one of the fucking assaults that I've endured, any of the threats that I've had to or endure. These people who claim that their lives were threatened and their children were threatened, they never show a single piece of evidence and literally make not one single effort to turn in those crimes. If people are threatening your children, you don't look the other way and make excuses. Meanwhile, many of these people wanted to come at my throat when they did stuff stupid like argue on Facebook and YouTube instead of finding out what was going on. They wanted to tell me, oh, Sean, people are threatening my life and threatening my kids because I defended you. Well, you didn't defend me. You argued on Facebook. You argued in Facebook groups. You never once tried to go in with police or make phone calls with me to the police to turn in these crimes. Candace Bondurant gave some meth addicts in Boulder, Colorado, some $50 McDonald's cards. And then she wanted to throw that in my face about how she had given my friends money for money to eat. I'm like, you didn't give my friends money to eat. You gave some drug addicts that I know $50 McDonald's cards. Big difference. Way big difference. Anyway, let me try to find my other telephone and make sure I have it on me. And then I'm gonna travel over to that feller's house. Hopefully he's not too drunk. Hopefully he's not too demanding. Hopefully he's, I don't know. Hopefully he's not ghetto blasting the music like he's been. I should probably take a blanket over there with me. I hope I can carry it all the way over there. The guy also said, rent me that place. There's no bathroom. There's a toilet there, but it's not a bathroom, and the toilet isn't exactly serviceable. How much he's going to want for rent, I have no idea. Whether or not I'll have enough to pay him for that rent, I certainly won't. As far as people donating to the GoFundMes, I certainly hope that somebody helps with that. You know, obviously, I'm getting ripped off for every dollar that I have of my disability money. How am I going to be able to take care of myself, let alone defend myself against actual predators that, well, it ought to be pretty obvious by now that they're actual predators. These people aren't coming up and giving me candy and roses. These people are coming up and throwing rocks through my window, throwing rocks at me, screaming racial slurs at me, swinging at me, trying to get their friends involved. They're harassing me on the internet, harassing me in real life. Meanwhile, I'm told that I wanted it, needed it, chose it, or deserved it. Because I'm a male, because I'm homeless. I'm denied my rights by these services based on bullshit that isn't even true. And then, like today, when I had to talk to that lady from the Disability Determination Services, she actually wanted to make excuses that it's all because of this defund the police bullshit. Well, the reality is, that's bullshit. Defund the police isn't the reason the police are doing this, because the police have been doing this to the homeless since before there was any such thing as defund the police. The police have been doing this to the disabled, especially the quote-unquote mentally ill, since well before all this woke bullshit. And you know that woke bullshit, well, it's been going on a while. It's been going on since before COVID. It's been going on since before defund the police. So when that lady told me that, I was not happy about it because it's bullshit. It's complete bullshit. Other than that, that lady seemed to understand a bit, just like many other mental health professionals understand, that you get called mentally ill, you just get treated like you're crazy. People assault you, you get treated like you're crazy. People rape you, you get treated like you're crazy. People steal your things, you get treated like you're crazy. They steal your money, you get treated like you're crazy. Meanwhile, you get disability money because you're disabled. And all of these things constitute taking advantage of a disabled person. All of these things constitute actual abuse, legal definition of actual abuse against an at-risk adult. Loose weight type, can you get a back surgery to help you? Well, Candace Bondurant, funny story. She worked at the Haxton Hospital. And when I was there, I did go to the hospital there. And the suggestions they were talking about is putting metal rods in my back or putting cement in my back. They also highly suggested that I not walk everywhere and not move around everywhere all the time. They suggested that I take a load off. Someone call himself Real Arls typed, "Did you know you can say..." Alright, another troll will just hide user on this channel. Isn't that easy? Anyway, I'm almost to my destination. I'll probably lose connection here just shortly because of that. Usually right around this sign up here. Someone calling himself River Rat typed, "I love your YouTube channel." And, oh, yep, there we go. Having internet connection. Fucking son of a... Fuck it. Alright. Got my blankets.
Sparking concerns for her health. The TV host had been open about her medical issues and battles with substance abuse, but in the end, her show was canceled. Williams was hoping a new Lifetime documentary where Williams would lead to a return to TV. Instead, cameras captured a heartbreaking decline with excessive drinking, erratic behavior, why? I have no idea where we are, and bouts of incoherence. Just yesterday, I sat down
Is
with
it right if I use your good charger for a few minutes?
an anchor at our Miami affiliate WPLG to talk about the documentary. She's been exploited. Family members say they had noticed cognitive decline in Williams. At the time, there was no official diagnosis. During this filming, and what did you know something was Williams is under the care of a court-ordered guardian following questions about the management of her finances. Her family says while they're relieved to hear that she seems to be responding well to treatment, they're frustrated that they haven't been allowed to see her in nearly a year. David?
When we come back here, the new storm moving into the northeast tonight, and then what's coming right behind it. And the dramatic images tonight, the rescue from a high-rise apartment fire that may be being carried down that ladder in a moment. Tonight, here the dramatic rescue from a 14-story apartment building fire in Chicago. At least 7 people were hurt, including an infant in critical condition. One person seen carrying a baby through a smoke-filled window, climbing down a ladder, and handing the baby to a firefighter. Fire crews also saving people hanging from windows. Authorities say everyone